Okay. Um, so chapter 1, I didn't really know exactly what I was doing at this point. So, like, my notes aren't as detailed. But, I mean, it'll get you there. So, unit 1 is, like, City Upon a Hill. And so, you'll start with learning about, just exploration with Portugal, Spain, um, stuff like that. And it wasn't on my apush exam that I can remember. If there was, it would have been maybe, I think there may have been something about Prince Henry the Navigator, and that was like the only part of like that was maybe important, except for mercantilism. Mercantilism. I can't stress that enough. Burgess will have it on the test. It will be on the apush exam. You need to know what that word means, and that's basically that you're just trying to. It's basic like economics. You're trying to sell more than you buy, but the money is going to go like to the mother country. It's for the Queen of England to make money. So sorry, I'm like looking at the notes as I do this and like talk because I haven't looked through this yet, and I haven't looked through this in a whole solid year, but so it mentions, oh yeah, I want to say you need to know for like a fill-in question, like what made long ocean voyages feasible, possible, is that they just had better technology now. I'm trying to think of like what it's called, some type of compass. I don't know, it might be on his PowerPoint, but I'd look there. Just like have one or two in the back of your mind to know. Okay, so this chapter names a lot of explorers, and he is like Burgess is super fair. Like he's not gonna make you know all these names. So, but you need to know Prince Henry the Navigator was important for Portugal's navy. Like he formed a naval school and was like building that up to help them. Columbus. If you don't know who Christopher Columbus is at this point, I mean, it just Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Okay, in 1492, but he thought he was looking for a way to India, but you know the way he was going, he landed in the Bahamas and thought it was India, so it wasn't. But and then we're America, North America, like, and not North Columbia, because Amerigo Vespucci was here first, and like he described the New World. You need to know the plant and people exchange. The Europeans brought diseases. They were not helpful. They just brought all this bad stuff, and the native people were teaching them about the different plants and the different just little stuff around the new land. The Treaty of Tordesillas, very important. You do not need to know that it was a line at the 46 west latitude. You don't need to know that, but you need to know what it was there for. So they were arguing over land, and if you think about it, when you think about South America, Brazil is the only place that speaks Portuguese, and so that's how you know that's basically where it is for a visual. And so over here you have Portugal that really just has Brazil, and then on this side Spain gets this huge half where they have all this extra land. And you need to know about like Spain, especially 3Gs: God, gold, glory. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember exactly about my exam, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned God, gold, and glory at some point. I don't know if that was on the exam or in Burgess's class, but it comes up at some point. So no, God, gold, glory. Again, your conquistadors, you have Balboa, Magellan, Leon, and Cortez. There's a lot of names. You don't need to know all of them. The Bering Strait, that will be a fill-in, like 90% sure. Of just how they got here. So it may have a question. Again, I'm like trying to remember this, but like, I don't know. It may have a question about Cortez. Like, if you're gonna know Conquistador, know Cortez. He conquered the Aztecs in Tenochtitlan. I'm pretty sure Burgess will show you a video of that in class. But yeah, just like think about that. So you have the Aztecs, Mayas, and Incas that are conquered. Pizarro is the one who conquered the Incas. So there's also Cabrillo, and he explored California. I remember this because they both start with a C. I think I just looked at it right before the test, but I don't think it was important. Like, I doubt it was on there. Yes, so the Pueblo Indians. So the Spanish are wanting to make all of these people they encounter Catholic. They're wanting to teach them their religion, and they are wanting to go out and be missionaries. They saw themselves as an army of mercy, and they're like, we are helping these people. But the Pueblo Indians rebelled, and they were like, we're not following what you're saying, and so they revolted. Oh, you need to know Pueblo, the Pueblo Indians, Pueblo Revolt. I want to say this is also called the Pope's Rebellion. I'm like 99% sure it's the Pope's Rebellion as well. Yes, there were pirates. The Pirates of the Caribbean is not just a movie. Like, there's actual pirates that are out there terrorizing the ships, like, give me your money. Yeah. So there are two pirates you need to know that, basically, like, I guess you could say that I've worked for the Queen. I'm trying to look up if they legitimately worked for the Queen or if I'm making that up. It says Queen Elizabeth I allowed more freedom, notorious pirates. Okay, yes. Queen Elizabeth I, like, legalized piracy, basically. So you have Henry Morgan and Sir Francis Drake. You need to know the two of them. Very important. And then it would be very beneficial to know Queen Elizabeth I. St. Augustine, first Spanish settlement, first European settlement, St. Augustine, Florida. Again, mercantilism, very important. France, you need to know Champlain is Quebec. And I remember this because Champlain starts with a C and Quebec is in Canada, and Canada starts with a C. Just find ways to help you. So the French had Huguenots, who were French Protestants, which basically means they were like, this is France. The French Protestants, the Huguenots, were, so like France was Catholic, and so they were persecuted, and so they fled from France and came to the New World, where they were seeking religious freedom. They tried to make some settlements, but they failed due to attacks from the Spanish or just other colonies. France did have some Catholics come who were successful, and their main thing was fur trade. And so remember this again: F for France, F for France, fur trade. I did that a lot in apush. So the Ohio River Valley was basically where everyone was wanting to settle, and so France is wanting their Spain is wanting to go there, and this is going to cause conflict in Great Britain, pretty sure. John Cabot, I'm pretty sure you need to know his name for England. So basically, so you have Prince Henry the Navigator, Portuguese, Queen Elizabeth and her two pirates, Henry Morgan, Sir Francis Drake, Cortez for Spain, Champlain for France, John Cabot for England, and so these are just some random names. Queen Elizabeth I was like really important because she was like, go explore, leave, like she was a little more relaxed and kind of up the freedoms. Yes, the Northwest Passage. I don't think that was on the. No, you might need to know for fill in or a multiple choice. Okay, also the multiple choice, he has these green AP textbooks in his room. He didn't give it to us at the beginning of the year, but you can ask for one. Like, I went ahead and asked for one. It is practice multiple choice questions and some extra summaries for the chapter. Like, it was helpful. But you can also Google apush chapter 1 multiple choice, and you can find Quizlets and other websites, and a lot of the, like, yes, this isn't the best because you can find the answers and you probably need to practice, but it can give you practice questions that you can look at and, like, you know, like, I was that kind of person. I literally did that. I don't know if Burgess knows I did that, but I did. Also, when y'all go to start doing DBQs or LEQs, you can go, like, Catherine Bates told me this, you can Google it and you can find, like, practice, like, possible titles for, like what the question might be for the essay. You can find, sample essays, like, just stuff to read over. Helpful. Okay. Sir Raleigh. The Roanoke colony. The Roanoke colony is the lost colony. They just don't know. I don't know where these people are. And who knows? If you've seen the show Lost, that's how I imagined it to be, is like something like that happened. I don't know. But you need to know the Roanoke colony is the lost colony. Joint stock companies, very, very important. It basically was like you can invest in people to go out and explore the new land, but you're only, if, like, this person fails, you're only going to lose what you invested. You're not going to lose any more money than that. So it was very helpful. So it can really only help you. Jamestown, first English permanent settlement. So we had Roanoke fail, but now we have Jamestown. Jamestown had a lot of joint stock companies, and, you know, it, like I said, very important to helping build it up and get people. So Jamestown had Smith. You've seen Pocahontas. John Smith. You know, literally his hair looked just like mine. Okay, so you don't work, you don't eat. I mean, it's kind of rude. Well, not rude, but, like, it's kind of harsh. That's the word I was looking for. But, like, if you're not working, what are you doing? You know? So I'm just kind of like, I kind of see what you're doing there. Yes. After this, socialism took over. I hate socialism. It's my input. After him is John Rolfe. So, John Rolfe actually marries Pocahontas. The movie, the Disney movie, is false. Okay. He introduced tobacco, which is very, very important because tobacco made a lot of money. So it was very helpful for them. Pocahontas, okay, so you need to know John Smith, John Rolfe, Pocahontas. Like, these are a lot of names, but like those you kind of already knew from like old social studies back that you've had before, or literally Disney, minus John Rolfe. The head right system was very important for also bringing more people to Jamestown because you got more land for every person you brought. And so this brought indentured servants, because they, like, if they could bring in an indentured servant and it's like, you worked for me for for 7 years, yeah, if you work for me for 7 years, I will pay for you to come over here, and I'm getting land for you coming over here because you count as a person for me. And so Virginia had the House of Burgesses. That one's kind of easy to remember because your teacher's name is literally Mr. Burgess. Okay, so yes, Pocahontas' father dies, and his brother, I'm literally looking at his name and I still don't know how to say it. It's like Opakanoa. Yeah, that guy. He's the new guy in charge, and he is not as nice to Jamestown as his brother, Pocahontas' dad, was, and so he's like, attack. Sorry, I'm like skipping over some stuff because I know it's not on the test. Yes. Nathaniel Bacon, very, very important. You just need to know Bacon's Rebellion for your whole life now. Like, it's going to be important when you get to civil rights. It's going to be important it's just important. You need to know it. Like, it'll be on your exam. I'm telling you, it's going to be there. So Bacon's Rebellion basically led to slavery because the indentured servants all rebelled, and they were like, or no, yes, okay, sorry, I was right, it leads to slavery. They rebelled, there's like mobocracy, like there's literally so many people, it's everywhere, you need to know that. Like, just imagine Nathaniel Bacon standing here with his pitchfork. Insert pitchfork. Okay, colonies. Chesapeake. Okay, so all of these colonies have 50 million nicknames, and you need to know them. You also need to know which colonies are the New England you need to know New England, Middle, Southern. I want to say, which one? I have a nickname. Yes, the middle colonies. This is literally how I remembered it. Never yell, never jump, people die. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware. Listen, I never forgot that. And there was, I want to say, an SAQ on the colonies, so you need to know them. And then nicknames, you have, the charity colony is Georgia, and that's basically because they just got all this money. Georgia is also the buffer colony because Georgia protected South Carolina, yes, from Florida, and Florida is Spanish. Okay, the bread colonies are all your middle colonies, so never yell, never jump, people die, because they made bread. Catholic colony, Catholic Haven, Maryland. I remembered this because I was like, Virgin Mary, Catholic, like, well, you get what I'm saying. I just do whatever. Chesapeake colonies are Virginia and Maryland. Restoration colonies, South Carolina and North Carolina. And the Quaker colonies, so like, think, what is it, oatmeal? Or I think it's either oatmeal or grits. I think it's oatmeal. You have the little Quaker little pin. It's Pennsylvania. because it was where the Quakers are. Quakers are peaceful people. William Penn, founded Pennsylvania. Okay, so yeah. You don't really need to know that. The act of toleration is basically tolerating religions. Pretty sure. I'll find that out. So like South Carolina, you probably have heard this from like South Carolina history, just going up through school in South Carolina. You have your 8 Lords Proprietors, like Lord Berkeley. Important crops were rice and indigo. You have there. I can't think of what I was going to say, but Stono slave revolt in Charleston is also, like, you know how I said Bacon Rebellion is important? Stono is too. It's like it's large, just know it. No, you really just need to know the name. Yeah. It'll be obvious on the test. South Carolina was very, aristocratic. That's what I was going to say. Okay, so Georgia, we all know this because we came from Beta going to Nationals in Savannah, but Oglethorpe was Georgia's founder, Georgia's head guy. They say his ghost haunts the little square in Georgia. Fun fact. Georgia was also sorry, I moved my leg. Georgia also, I can't think of what I'm gonna say. It'll come back. Okay. Yeah, it'll come back. The Mayflower Compact Act was made on the boat, the Mayflower, before they got off. It was basically just, like how they were going to do things. So it had like their laws, like how they were going to be set up once they got on land. Important. Squanto, and Happy Thanksgiving. Okay, so basically he helped them, and then they had the Thanksgiving feast. But Thanksgiving wasn't a thing. I got a notification. It wasn't a thing. I want to say until Abraham Lincoln. He's the one who made it, like, Happy Thanksgiving. Eat all the food. Okay. John Winthrop is a very important man. You need to know him. He is the one who basically, this chapter is named after a city upon a hill. So he was with the Puritans in Massachusetts, and he was wanting to basically build a theocracy of a city upon a hill, be in the world, not of it. It's great advice though, like 10 out of 10, you need to be in the world. Be in the world, not of it. 10 out of 10. So it's covenant theology, very, very important to build a city on the hill. That's what that means. And it's basically, he just wants his little Puritans to be up here and be an example for all these little people down here. I mean, yeah, he's not wrong. Like, you should strive to, be an example. He just was very intense. And so, you've seen the Salem witch trials, like, that's the Puritans. The Crucible, if you've read that. So then they had the halfway covenant, which basically was another way for people to become members of their church. So like if my parents were members of the church, I as their child am not, like, I just, I'm like grandfathered in. So 2 other important people. So you have John Winthrop, there wasn't a lot of toleration. So then you had Roger Williams, And Roger Williams, okay, I kid you not, messed this up the entire time because it's like, wait a minute, I thought he just died. No, that's Robin Williams. Yes, we're talking about Roger. Okay, so Roger wanted separation of church and state, which is how the U.S. is run. And so that's how, and he, he's the one who said forced religion stinks in the nostrils of God. Like, he was like, we shouldn't be forcing all these people to be Christians. We just need to, it's a choice. And so he was kicked out by Winthrop, and he like fled to Rhode Island, and then he made Rhode Island accepting to all of religions. And so then Rhode Island was known as a sewer colony. I don't think I said that when I was doing nicknames, but Rhode Island is a sewer colony, basically because they were like, it stinks because of all these religions and it's not orderly, not Puritan. So Anne Hutchinson was also a Puritan who I kind of forgot what she did, to be honest. I'm looking. Roger Williams is the more important one. Yes, okay, she is faith, not faith plus works, just faith. Is basically what she was. And then Salem witch trials. Honestly, for that, it's the Crucible. It's literally the Crucible. Yeah. So we learned it. Yeah. Salem witch trials, i.e. the Crucible. Just watch a YouTube video on the Crucible or look up a summary if you haven't read it. But yeah. Okay, so then you have some wars here that are about the Puritans dealing with the Indians. King Philip's War, I'm pretty sure you need to know the name of that one. And then, okay, there's the Pequot, but I don't think the Pequot War was on there. So, Connecticut is Thomas Hooker. New Haven by Davenport. You don't need to know all of these people's names, so you need to know Rhode Island was Roger Williams. Massachusetts is Governor Winthrop. Pennsylvania, William Penn. I don't think you need to know that Connecticut is Thomas Hooker because I didn't even remember that. So, there's stuff here about who settled these colonies, basically, but you don't entirely need to know them, like who had it first and like playing shuffle around, so you don't really need to know that. You need to know that Pennsylvania is for the Quakers. I said that earlier. Quakers was religious freedom. He just wanted to tolerate everyone and treat people equally. And the important thing about treating people equally is that he was including Africans, Indians, and women. And so that's like truly rare because the other people weren't like that. So this chapter is really long. I'm realizing this, but it gets better, I promise. So you have the New England Confederation. Okay, yeah, I'm really seeing why I cried on this first test because this is intense. You'll be okay though, I got you. And they were disbanded. Okay, this whole thing was really kind of confusing, but they were disbanded and it forms the Dominion of New England, which is basically just the same. It just gets replaced. And it's called something else. It says Leisler's Rebellion. It's not on there. You don't even know that, really. The Glorious Revolution, however, is what you do need to know. It is a bloodless transfer of power. The key is that it's bloodless, and so it's normally with transfer of power, someone's dying, someone's getting killed. That's not gonna normally what happens. Okay, so you need to know the terms Whig and Tory. So a Whig is against the king and a Tory is for the king. So basically, this ended in a Declaration of Rights. Sorry, I got distracted. A Declaration of Rights, which basically like was like, you king, you're not all powerful. You need to calm yourself. You're gonna share power with the parliament. It's like you need to like calm yourselves. Okay, so at the end of the notes here, the three major themes, very important. Religious freedom, personal liberty. You know, people are coming. The French Huguenots came because they were being persecuted. Like, people are coming because they were being persecuted where they're from, and they want freedom. Personal liberties, you know, they want to be away from the rule of the monarchy. They're just trying to get a little more freedom. Economic freedom and land ownership, the head right system, people coming over here to get land and just be able to like try and get more money. Political system, protecting individuals from government. So there's political systems forming that are not like controlled by the king, and so it's new for them and they're liking it. So the three colonial regions, New England's the New England, middle, and southern regions. You need to know which colonies belong to which. So New England is New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut. Middle is Never Yell, New York, Never Jump, New Jersey. People, Pennsylvania, die. Delaware, Never Yell, Never Jump, people die. And then the southern is everything else: South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, Maryland. Southern places like that one, just try and remember that. And you have different types of colonies. So you have proprietary, like the A-Lords proprietors, self-charter, it's like a group of people, and then a royal colony. It's still basically controlled by the king and the parliament, not as free. Okay, so I have paper notes here, but I'll just go over these with you in person. Yeah, because it's like, these are just extra stuff from his slides that I wrote down. Like, I was a very detailed child. Yeah, like this will talk about like John Smith. It was like, you don't work, you don't eat. But then Rolf was like, here's some incentives. You know, you can get personal property. Cromwell comes into power because Charles I gets beheaded. At first it was the Carolinas, and then they split. In 1729 it became South Carolina and North Carolina. Yeah. Diaz was the Cape of Good Hope on the tip of South Africa. But this should be most everything. Oh my gosh, this is a 33-minute video. Sorry. Okay, bye.